All birds find shelter during a rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Day 2 webinar, which is going to conduct the Department of English at Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College. This is Priyadashni, 2nd BSc Max. I feel privileged to welcome you all for this webinar. Now, I would like to welcome Ms. B. Preeti, 2nd BSc Computer Science, to deliver the welcome address.
It's my immense pleasure to welcome our management, principal ma'am, all the head of the department, faculty members, my co-students and all the viewers. This is B. Preeti, 2nd BSc CS. I would like to welcome our today's speaker, Mrs.S. Ramya ma'am, soft skill trainer. Welcome ma'am. We are excited
Thank
to
you.
have you at today's webinar. This is be an opportunity for us to learn from each other and grow together. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Preeti. It's time to introduce our chief guest to the viewers. So, I would like to welcome Mrs. Deepa Martin, Assistant Professor, Department of English, to introduce our chief guest. I welcome, I welcome you, ma'am.
Very good morning to one and all present here. I take immense pleasure to introduce the distinguished speaker of today's webinar. Mrs.S.Ramya is a public speaking trainer at Planet Spark and a soft skill trainer at Buddha Academic Solutions. She has got more than 12 years of teaching experience at various reputed institutions. She has worked in an arts and science college, teacher training college, and also in a school. She was an assistant professor of English at Sri Muthukumaran Arts and Science College for 5 years, a teacher trainer, educator at Satya Sai Teacher Training College for 3 years, and for about 4 years as a school teacher as well at St. Joseph Nursery and Primary Schools. Besides all these experience in educational institutions, she has handled spoken English classes for expatriate students. She has participated in various national and international workshops and presented two research papers and international conferences. She is also a recipient of a state award for her drawing skills. We welcome you all wholeheartedly, ma'am, on behalf of Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College for today's webinar, and we are very much eager and enthusiastic to listen to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. May I request Mrs. S. Ramya, ma'am, soft skills trainer, to give a valuable message to my co-students and the viewers. Ma'am, we are eagerly waiting to learn your content. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. Good morning, on and all present here. You have gathered here to you have gathered here to get some information or get some knowledge from the speaker, and I'm going to be the speaker today. Before entering into the speech, let me tell you something. Everybody, we are all human beings, right? Everybody has a mood swings, everybody has ups and downs in life, everybody has so and so problems in our life. So the next 50 minutes, you're going to pack it up, you're going to put it aside, you're going to straighten your ears, admit to me to get some valuable information which will make you a genuine person in future, even in your career. So let us start. I hope we can start. So the topic is public speaking. What is public speaking? Everybody would have entered, or you would have established, or you would have experienced the public speaking in your life once or the other. It may be from your primary section, it may be in your secondary section, whatever it may be. Before, you would have recited a poem in front of your friends, you would have told a story to your parents, So everything includes public speaking. Now we are going to see what is public speaking in a structured manner. Can you see the picture? Can you see the picture? Yes. So what does you understand from this picture? A single person is conveying a message to a group of people, isn't it? So a single person is conveying a message to a group of person. That is public speaking. See, I'm not going to, it's not an lecture, it's not going to be a boredom, I assure you. You're going to put on your ears so that you can learn something. We are spending our valuable time to learn something. So I think if I say 10 points, at least 6 points should be in your memorable for days. So please do look into it and grab, and it'll be, I assure you, it'll be useful for you forever. Okay? So public speaking. Public speaking is you're going to encourage, you're going to entertain, you're going to appreciate, you're going to pass on your ideas, personal ideas, or the structured information to the group of people. So that is public speaking. Good speakers can shape the destiny of future leaders. So, for speech, you have to be a good listeners. I'm going to the next slide. As I said, see, I'm not going to, if you want, you can take a note of it, but listen to the points what I'm saying. So I'm not going to say the same points what is in the PPT. You can take a note of it later also. Just listen. Without, if you listen, you can be able to write, I assure you, you can be write an essay on public speaking at the end. I hope it's not going to be a boredom. It'll be, it's not a single version, it's going to be an interaction manner. Clear? So this is what I said. Public speaking is a way of making your ideas, sharing your information in a structured manner. That is public speaking. Clear? And moreover, whatever is done by a person, whether it may be the speech, whether it may be the poem recitation, or whether it may be the enact play, it will be ended with the applause. And usually this is happening. So in public speaking also, it ends with an applause. Now clear what is public speaking? Now you have been, you are clear with the public speaking, right? Shall I move on to the next slide? Yes. So do you know who is this? Who is this? His name is Martin Luther King, an American civil rights activist. So why do I take him as a example of famous public speaker? See, in our country, we have lot and lot of good public speakers. Instead, I have taken Martin Luther King from America because he had made a revolution in public speaking. Normally, just listen, just imagine you're going to address a people of 100, 200, normal, 1,000. Okay, so he has addressed nearly 2 million people with a single way of interaction, that is public speaking. And he has talked about the topic is I have a dream, which says about the civil civil rights and the conflict between the Americans, that is black people and the white people. He has fought for it, and he has made a revolution in that. So I have taken him as an example of good public speaker. Now you're clear about the Martin Luther King, right? His work is on have I have a dream. The next slide. Jane Goodall. She's also an American. She has she is also a primatologist and anthropologist. Anthropologist is nothing but as those who study the aspects of human with the present people. She has done lot of experiments and diversion between apes and the human beings, especially in the lives of chimpanzees. She has spent her whole life in excluding what are the excluding things from the animals and the human beings. So I think she is also a well deserved person to be a famous public speaker. Her name is Jane Goodall. So we have seen the public speaking. We have seen the example of famous public speaker, that is Martin Luther King. And second, we have seen Jane Goodall. Now clear up to this? Shall I move on to the next slide? Yes. Brainstorming. So these all are the points where I'm going to explain you what is public speaking. So public speaking, when you are given a topic to present a paper or to present a presentation in the audience, before the audience, what are the things you have to follow? So these are the things you have to follow, and this may help you in even in examinations. Characteristics of public speaking. You're going to define it into a parts, so that you're going to understand it clearly. What are the characteristics of a public speaking? Next, what are the needs, essentials of public speaking? What are the things to be added? What are the things to be included in the essentials of public speaking? Once you define it, when you understood what are the needed things, next we'll move on to the modes to deliver a public speech. How we are going to take it your information to the listeners, how we are going to deliver it, what are the notes here, what are the modes you are going to use there. So this is going to be your third part. After this, you're going to have a note making. What are the things I'm going to explain? There should not be an unwanted messages. There should not be a branches for each and everything. It should be a gut problem, gut solution, and it should be up to the point what you're going to. It should not be in a branches, and it should not be in a confusing manner. It should be up to the point and spotted out points to make the listeners easy and to us and to accept it. Next is verbal presentation. So you have characterized it, you have essentials, you have decided what modes to deliver the public speaking. Next, you have also decided the note making. After note making, you're going to practice. You're going to practice in a verbal manner. This verbal practice will define, or it will describe in you to a great scholars. So when you practice makes a man perfect, isn't it? So when you practice, you will be able to define yourself. You'll be able to know what you can and what you have to improve. So verbal presentation plays a major role here. Next, you have prepared. You have all the five things prepared, and you're going to enter into the presenting the stage. So when you enter into the stage before the listeners, what are the things you have to keep it in your mind? What are the things you have to follow? So that is going to be explained in presentation on stage. And finally, the queries. Shall we start? Okay. First is the characteristics of public speaking. The characteristics of public speaking is, what is characteristics of public speaking? The first thing is clarity. The first one is clarity. Clarity is nothing but you should have one clear cut idea of your topic. You should be able to connect to people your ideas, your emotions, facts, and arguments to the audience in a correct manner. So that is clear idea. Clarity is nothing but clear in your ideas. It should be short, it should be clear, and you can travel your emotions to the audiences through this. So that is clarity. Clear? The next slide. Vivid and concrete speech. What is vivid? Vivid is the exact meaning. The exact meaning. For example, for writing, for reading, for thinking, we have a alternate alternate what to say words for that, but we should not use that alternate words or the extraordinary words to this topic while we are doing the public speaking. It should be the exact meaning what it is, and it should be in a short way. That is vivid and concrete speech. The speech should be vivid, including experiences and concrete facts. That is, you should be able to point out what the exact meaning is, and what are the facts it has originally, organically. So that is vivid and concrete speech. Shall I move on to the next? Okay. Interesting variations on topic. See, when a listeners listen to a speech, only if the speech is interesting, if it is audible, if it is understanding, so when it's liked by you, so these are the facts where listeners will be tempted to listen to your speech. So when their listeners are listening to your speech, they should have some push to, or some motivational to listen to your speech. So these, instead of getting into the summarizing the messages or pointing out in a points regularly, you can use quotations, anecdotes, and humorous touches often will make a speech very interesting. So quotations must be very familiar to that. You cannot use the unfamiliar quotations which is not familiar to them, because they don't have time to look into that, understand that. It will be a mere waste. So use the quotations and anecdotes. Anecdotes is nothing but your personal experiences, what has done, and you're going to share it with the audience organically, naturally. Be natural, have a smile in your face. So that is you can use quotations, anecdotes, and you can use some comic incidents to cheer your audience. So that is interesting variations on topic, right? Conciseness. What is conciseness? Conciseness is simple and a precise language. Very simple. Make it very simple. Make it very clear. Make it very simple. Your words should be simple and elegant to attract the audiences. It should be a remembered words. It should not be an phrases or a bombastic language where they could take the dictionary and find out what the exact meaning is. It's not easy, right? So you're going to use very very simple language and a familiar words. That is conciseness. Use a simple and a precise language that your audience can understand and remember. Clear? I hope you're clear with that. Next slide. Authenticity. What is authenticity? Authenticity is nothing but evidences and examples. Evidences means you're going to explain the audience what you have in your own experiences, your own ideas, what you have gone through, what you have experienced. So you're going to share it with your audience, whether it may be a successful or it may be a failure or it may be more successful, whatever it may be. That's not the matter here. You're going to share your own experiences to the audience. So that is evidences. It may be not the own experiences, it may be the statistics, excuse me, the quotes and researches, everything, and your arguments, everything includes here. You're going to share it with the audience. It will make us to connect easily. Next is examples. Same thing. Evidences and examples are merely similar. Examples you can use uh, for to grab the audience attentions. Now listen to me. I still remember when I was in fourth grade. I still remember the whole incident. I was in a fourth standard in a third bench. I have a friend named Sivaranjini who is now a dental doctor. I hope she would not feel shy if I say this incident. It was our Tamil class, and our Tamil teacher was asked to write a letter to the teacher to get, in case of getting 3 days leave for attending the uncle's marriage or whatever the relative you can use there. You can use, as it is a Tamil, you can use Chitapa, Mama, whatever it is. You can use any sort of relation for their marriage. You are going to take a leave for 3 days. And my Sivaranjani is very particular because she loved her dad so much. So she eventually wrote, நானும் என் தாயாரும் என் தந்தையின் திருமணத்திற்கு செல்ல இருப்பதால் எனக்கு 3 நாள் விடுமுறை கேட்டு அனுமதி அளிக்குமாறு வேண்டிக் கொள்கிறேன். Just imagine how it would be. Nowadays students are very sensitive. Nowadays the teachers are not exposing to read the people's mistakes, read the students mistake before the in the classroom. But in our days, the teacher would read the mistakes what we have done, and it helps us to correct it. So my ma'am, I still remember her name is Nagalakshmi. She read the whole letter and she laughed literally, and she said, see child, this is not the way, and you have to listen what I'm saying. You have to think what I'm saying. It's not that immediately you're going to write blindly, you're going to grab the information, and without any clear cut you're going to enter into the information. Not that. You have to be very clear in each and every words you're listening and each and every word you're writing. So I think it would this is the best example for that. Okay, I hope you would have understand what is authenticity. Shall I move on to the next? Enthusiasm. What is enthusiasm? Your speech should give the audience rejuvenated. Your speech should give the elegant of happiness, because the stream of energy will pass on to the audience too. That is enthusiasm. When you're giving a speech, have a smile on your face, not the laugh. Have a smile on your face. Get a good eye contact. Make use of the hall or make use of the room where you are. So enthusiasm is something that you're going to pass on your energy to the audience, and this will make the audience to connect to you easily. Clear? Next one. Adaptability. So what is adaptability? Adaptability is when you feel the audience is losing your attention. You should be very you should be very, what is it? You should be very conscious when you're giving a speech. You should read. You should sense your audience. If you sense the audience are losing your attention, they are distracted or something else is going wrong, some disturbances in the audiences, some collaborations. No, if you are sensing that your audience are losing your attention, just switch on to any activity to gear and adapt the energy of the audience. For example, you can use any mind games. You can ask the audience to stand up and stretch for a while, for few seconds, and then freshly they can enter into the listening part. You can do something. So I have a mind game here. Now please do listen, those are listening. Now I'll screen you a PPT. I'll be having it for 30 seconds and I'll be questioning on that. Let me see how you're answering. Okay, what did you see in the PPT? What did you grasp? What did you do there? If the people who are connected, you can answer in a chat box. If in case you are a student, you can answer to your friends. So how many shapes, what are the shapes were there in the PPT? What are the colors were used? How many shapes were there? And for what shape, what color were used? So these are the questions you can raise to the audience and grabs their attention to make the listeners to listen to your speech. Clear? Okay, next. The essentials. We are entering into the next topic, essentials of public speaking. What are the needs? What are the needs in the essentials of public speaking? It develops critical thinking skills, it develops leadership quality, it helps in motivational speech, it enhances analytic thinking. First, we'll see what is critical thinking. Critical thinking is nothing but you're going to self-aware you're about yourself. Yeah, it's a personal growth. You're going to expose to a perspective speakers are able to challenge their own ideas. You're going to assume yourself a good speaker and you're going to examine yourself. What are the things you could do and what are your weak and what are the things you have to improve? And the introspection, how to understand oneself. So these are the things comes to mind when it comes to critical thinking. Once you analyze yourself, it's easy for you to judge or examine other people like your colleagues and friends. You can identify their strength and weakness easily. So that is critical thinking. This critical thinking develops when you are a good public speaker, right? That is critical thinking. Leadership qualities. What is leadership qualities? How do we select a leader for example, how do we select a leader in our class? How do we select a representative in a class? They should be active, they should be different, they should do something extraordinary. So those would be the position as leaders. Good leaders, good speakers lifts you to attain a good entrepreneur. Good leaders, good speakers lifts you to attain the position of entrepreneur. Okay, entrepreneur is nothing but you're owning a company. So that is entrepreneur. Leadership requires effective communication. You should be able to communicate to all sorts of people. You should be able to connect to all sorts of people, all sorts of people who attends you or who is exposing whatever it is. You should be effective reader and a listener to become a good public speaker. This, if these all comes together, you will become a good public speaker, and this public speaker enhances you or pushes you to a leadership qualities, and you will own and you will be a good leaders. Right? Clear? Okay. This is what I said. Requires effective communication, speaking confidently in public. Helps you to self better, inspire people, and boost your career. As I said, you can own a company if you are a good speaker. Good leadership qualities will be gained from good public speaking. Right? Next slide. Helps in motivational speech. What is motivational? To do our work, to do our extraordinary work, we should have a push. There are so many good public speakers or good motivational speakers in our country, in our state, whatever it is. We have so many people to motivate us. We listen to motivational speeches to attain our goal, to attain our aim. It pushes up, it gives you energy to attain your goal. So, when preparing for a speech, speakers need to consider different perspectives and approach in order to present their arguments persuasively, which gives you a continuous motivational to attain your aim or a goal. This is will help you in your future too to attain a great heights. So motivational speech considered to be a very essential thing in public speaking. Right? The next slide. Analytical thinking. What is analytical thinking? What is analytical thinking? Analytical thinking is breaking down a complex compounds into a smaller parts and logically finding a solution for it. Okay, analytical skills are highly focused on effects and predicting the impacts of possible solutions. I'll explain to you with an example. You have broke a ball and you're going to fit it together. Finding a different way to fix the ball in a simpler manner, and what are the effects, what it may broke, it may not broke, where I have to place this. So present situation and finding the impacts of its future. So you, if a problem is arised, you're going to find a different, break it into a parts. You're going to find the solutions very easy manner. You're going to have a different ways to find the simpler manner of finding the solution for the problem, and you're going to have an idea what if it happens in future. You will also think about the future, what is impact, what would be the impact of the ball. So that is a analytical thinking, breaking down the complex components into some smaller components using logic. You will find a good logic to solve the problems easily in a quick manner. So that is analytical thinking. Next slide. Next, we are going to the modes to deliver the public speech. As I said, in a brainstorming, I hope you remember characteristics, the essentials, and the modes. How we are going to prepare the mode of information. First one is manuscript, memorized, extemporaneous, impromptu. These are the things you're going to select for the modes to deliver the public speaking. What's manuscript? Manuscript is nothing but a part of a note written by a person, and before it is printed or published, you're going to have the original copy of it, the handwritten or the written of an author. So that is manuscript. For example, in our school days, the teacher would have asked us to read a paragraph any in any subjects. We would be given opportunities to read the paragraph and the next one should follow where we have left. So that is the type of manuscript, that is in a printed manner. Here it comes in an organic manner, that is when an author or a publisher writes his work before publishing or printed, you're going to have the original copy, that is called as manuscript. Clear now what is manuscript? It will be useful for you to write it even in examinations. Please do have a note of it. And What is the barrier in it means? It will be a barrier between you and the listeners, because you're going to just read out what is written. You're going to, it may also done by you, so you will have a you will be leisure to get into your attention to the listener. So that becomes a barrier here. Okay, so that is manuscript. The next slide. Memorized. What is memorized? Memorized is it well planned expressions of ideas. Memorized is usually in our life from our baby classes, that is from LKG. Everybody would have gone through the rhymes, the tables, whatever it is. We would have had the habit of memorizing. Still now you will be remembering your rhymes, one or two maybe. That is because you have memorized it. When you memorize it, it will be in your mind with any sort of disturbances. But when you distracted any one or two, you would forget the whole thing. That is the disadvantage of memorizing. So speakers have the tendency to lose a certain amount of naturalness. There won't be any naturalness. Sometimes it may look quite wooden, like numb. So not going to it's not going to work. So that is memorization. Memorization is you're going to memorize something what is structured, and you're going to have it in your mind and you're going to put it on the paper. So that is memorization. And the barriers would be like forgetting and nervousness. When you're nervous, obviously you used to forget something. So in that manner, forgetting and nervousness becomes a negative point here. So that is memorized. Clear? Shall I move on to the next? Okay. This is a picture I have given for the memorized. Next is, what is extemporaneous? Extemporaneous is spontaneous. Extemporaneous is spontaneous. It gives the opportunity for a person from a group of audiences, from a group of listeners. They'll be given a topic, and they'll be given a minimum time. It may be a 5 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. They could they could build a brainstorm there. They could have a glance of headings, what they are going to talk about. So this is a extemporaneous. You will have a minimum time of 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and you're going to blush on the topic. You're going to get into the topic and you're going to talk for 4 minutes. So this is extemporaneous. Whereas the next, impromptu. Impromptu relies same as extemporaneous. The only minute difference is extemporaneous is you will be given 5 to 10 minutes time for you to prepare, whereas in impromptu it is a gunshot. You should talk spontaneously. For example, you'd be called on the stage and you'll be given a mic and they'll be given a talk about your mother, talk about your father, so talk about the population in India. So whatever it is, you will not have the span of time to think about it. It's a spontaneous and immense way to deliver a speech. So that is impromptu. Clear? Shall I move on to the next? Okay. We have seen the characteristics, the essentials, modes to deliver a speech, and now we are going to prepare for a public speaking. How we are going to prepare for a public speaking? The first one is note making. Next is verbal presentation and presentation on stage. Note making. What is note making? First, know your audience. Know your audience. What age group they are. What age group, how many they are, what is the size of the audience, what is the size of the room you're going to present the paper. Know your audience, and your message should be in short and vivid manner. Avoid too many of slides, instead using full of summarizing messages. So avoid too many of slides. Instead you can use minimized and in an attractive manner. Next is elegant words. As I said earlier, elegant words should be preferred because listeners will not have time to work on finding the meaning of it. Note making, usually, for example, if I have given a topic to talk on in a particular college, so I'll give a message like, I am sending you a CD through ATP parcel services. You would have heard the word ATP parcel service in some comic channels. What is CD? I am sending CD through ATP parcel service. What is CD? CD is nothing but C stands for communicate a little. Instead of putting lot and lot of information, instead of gathering bulk of informations to get into the listeners, have a minimum information and a effective information which will be useful for the listeners truly. Okay, so communicate a little. D is develop the habit of having a feedback. Once you have done, you should have the habit of having the feedbacks. Because why the feedback is necessary, it will gives you all sort of examined way how you have done a work. It will gives you a original, it will gives you a exact replay, what is it, feedback of your speech. It will gives you all plus and minuses. So always have the habit of having a feedback. So this is about CD. And what is ATP? A stands for audience, T stands for topic and time. Do not deliver a speech more than 2 hours. It it is what to say? It is impossible for the humans to listen more than 2 hours. So make it short, give a break, and do continue your speech. So T stands for the topic and time. Know your topic and design your topic's information in a short and a attractive manner. Next is P, purpose. What is purpose? What is the purpose of giving a speech here? Why do I give a speech here now? I hope it will be useful for a person or a listeners. It will be useful for any 10 people or the listeners to have something or the good information, good ideas to enhance their work, to enhance their studies, to enhance their career. So that is the purpose of giving speech here. So do use the what is it? Make use of the message given here and utilize in your lives to enhance your career, studies, whatever it is. Okay, so that is note making. Next is design a path accordingly that listeners must connect themselves and follow your emotions. Only a speaker could pass on their emotions to the audiences. They'll be keenly watching you, they'll be keenly watching your energy, they'll be keenly watching your actions, your words, everything. So do be careful in whatever you do when you give a speech. Breakdown, this is all the same thing what I have explained already, summarizes into a pure headlines, listeners to stay connected, which pays the listeners to follow it. Last, should avoid complex and unfamiliar words. Okay, I'll move on to the next slide. The very important thing in public speaking is verbal preparation. This is what the prior preparation before you enter into the stage. What is verbal preparation? Verbal preparation is you're going to deliver or ability to deliver a speech accurately without the notes is the holy grail of presenting. It's a great thing, right? One can see him or herself in the mirror as it is an organic companion for yourself or oneself. You in verbal preparation, you're going to prepare your notes and you're going to practice verbally. You can practice in front of the mirror, you can practice through your phones, all sorts of media without live, okay, and you can present it before your family members or your colleagues who are trustworthy. This will help you in presenting a paper effectively, uh, and do not do not have unnecessary points, do not have unwanted pictures to be placed in your papers. It should be related, only related to your topics, and the examples can be given. Don't read your presentation, instead tell your information. It is a very important point. I can see some people having a paper and reading out what they have done. That is not the sort of speech. Speech is nothing but spontaneously comes from the mind. You should have the you should have the content in your mind, and you're going to explain it to the audience in a rapport manner. So that is verb, that is speech, good speech. And in good speech, verbal preparation plays a vital role here. So verbal preparation is done in a proper manner, and I assure you, you'd become a good public speaker. Okay, so these are the points I have given here. Practice before your friends and your family members who is trustworthy first. Practice aloud yourself or with the trusted colleagues and friends. Memorize your presentation will give you a false sense of security. As I said, once you memorize one thing, it's not going to help you in any way because the natural emotions would not appear there. Memorizing will spoil your emotions. Memorization will spoil your spontaneity, will kill your emotions, will kill your rapport between you and the listeners. It will make you to pay a waves in a different way where you're going to just read to a paper. No, that's not going to happen, and that should not happen. So do not memorize your presentation and do not read the presentation. Please do uh, explain it to the listeners what your preparation is. Only then they'll have a connectivity. They will have an idea how to prepare themselves. They will connect easily. So do not memorize your presentation. Spend plenty of time in practicing your presentation. You should practice at least 2 hours a day to become a good public speaker. Okay, so and as usual, while preparing you should have an extra datas, because technically we may go wrong. Technically the laptop won't work, or the electricity, whatever it may be, some hindrance may happen. You should be ready for that. So have a backup always. Structure your presentation in a manner that you should have extra ppts or extra information to share with the listeners. Okay, the time may vary or time may extend or time may end before, so you should adapt to the exact situation and act to it Prepare enough material for the given time and a couple of slides as backup, as I said. So that is verbal preparation. So quickly we'll have a glance from the first. That is, we have seen characteristics of public speaking, then essentials and modes, then verbal preparation. Finally, we are entering into the presentation on stage. This is the stage where we are going to act our real talent, where we are going to enact or you are going to present what you have prepared, your talent, your uh, your vivid emotions. So whatever it is, this is the stage where you are going to present yourself on the stage. So what are the things you have to have in mind while doing the facial expressions? Okay, so I do cover facial expressions, eye contact, hand gestures, voice modulations, confidence, range of energy, use of stage. You can see the topics, it is interconnected with other. When you have a facial expression, eye contact will automatically, you will have automatically eye contact. If eye contact is in a proper manner, you will have a hand gestures. If hand gestures is good, you will have a voice modulation. Once these things you have maintained, definitely confidence would arise in you. Next comes the range of energy and the use of stage. So first we'll see the facial expressions. So you can see the facial expressions here: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, confused, contempt, throughout. So these are the variations in facial expressions. Do remember, you should have a smile on your face throughout a speech, not the laugh. You should have a smile on your face. Do have eye contact properly. Never ever show your nervousness on the stage, on your face. Don't scratch your head. Be aware of your body languages there. Do not move often. So these are the things you have to have it in your mind while doing a speech. That is facial expressions. The next is eye contact. Eye contact is the effective modes of communication between the speaker and the listener. See, eye is a very good mode of communicator. It communicates more than words. So, eye contact is very important in speaking. Okay, it is tied to so many skills. Next, hand gestures, as I said. Half of your communication comes through a body language. Hand gestures play an important role in grabbing the audience attention. Hand gestures. Do not move your hands often. Okay? Use your hands in a proper manner. Do have a look at your listeners often. Have a good eye contact. Hand gestures must be used in pretend for the audience to gain the attention of the listeners. So that is hand gestures. Voice modulations. This is one of the important thing. Voice modulation. You can control or adjust your voice according to the requirement of your speech. Now just imagine, in our school days, we would have learned about the rhymes, stories, whatever it is. If I'm going to recite a poem or I'm going to narrate a story to this group of students, if I say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high like a diamond in the sky, it's not going to work. It's not, it's in a blank manner. So voice modulation plays twinkle, twinkle, the false note and the high note, the anecdotes, annotations, the pronunciation of a word, how you use the voice. So everything plays a vital role here. Voice modulation is essential for good public speaking. Okay, the your pitch, your pace should vary according to the requirement of the content. As I said, enthusiastic voice depicts your confidence. So confidence, what is confidence? Next come the confidence. What is confidence? Never ever say I can't do it. Forget the word. Just say I can do it. I can. So I can itself is a mean of a confidence. Confidence, according to me, confidence is not that you intake. I feel it is like an organ of a body. It's not going to attach to your body. It is inbuilt. You're going to build it slowly. How our organs grow, how our hands, how our nails grow. Same way, you're going to build it in you as an organ. Only then the confidence will play its originality. It gives you a strength. It gives you it gives you a what blind strength. It gives you a blind strength to meet, to attain, or to do whatever you think confidently. So confidence is very important here. If you have a confidence, then you can attain any sort of speeches, any sort of words. Next is range of energy. When you're energetic, it becomes infectious. When you're energetic, you passes on your energy to the audiences. Same way, when you're dull, you will pass. So do not get dull or nervousness. Be energetic, maintain the range of energy, uh, do it in your voice modulation, do it in your actions, keep the audience engaged, keep the audience to listen to your speech continuously. So that is range of energy. And also the presentation which you are giving or the speech which you are giving should be talked by the listeners at least for the days. They should remember what you have done, and that means the real successful of your speech. Okay, so not but the not but not the least, the last one, usage of stage. When a story or explanation involves a passage of time, imagine a timeline across the stage. Move along. It is a show the progression. It says that when you are on the stage, you should have a margin line to use the stage. You should be viewed by everyone in the audiences. You should be available to everyone. You should be available. You should be audible. They should see you from anywhere in the audience, in the auditorium or whatever it is. You should be what is it? You should be seen. Only then you are using the stage in a correct manner. You should be in a correct position where the audience can view and listen to. Only when they visually see you, it will have their attempt to listen to your speech. So please do use the stage properly and do not move often. Have a movement for a while where they can get your attention to listen to the messages what you are given. So this will helps you even in Zoom. When you are in Zoom meeting, please do use the room what you are in. So that's all for public speaking. I hope you would have understood what is public speaking. What are the points I have given here? Definitely it will be useful for you. I hope. Is there any queries? You can ask me. No?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
I have one question. Shall I ask?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
How can I improve my communication skill in future? Can you suggest some easy way to follow?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. See, communication is, it's not the uh, monotype. You're going to have a rampo type. That is, you have to watch. Communication is only practice makes your communication a standard one. For that, you have to speak. See, we speak our mother tongue fluently. Why? Because usually we do that. We do that in everyday life, isn't it? So when you want to communicate properly or in a standard manner, the other language, you have to do practice on it. Please do listen to the movies, news, which is a good news or a good books. Read on to the good books. Talk to your practice with your friends. Read a good standard books. Talk to yourself. Talk to your colleagues or talk to your friends with the English in a English language. So learning a other language is an easy thing. You can build your communication skill only through practices. Practice will make you a expert one. So do practice. You can practice with the movies, you can practice with the newspapers, you can practice with your friends, you can practice with your teachers, whatever it is. Only if you practice, you can communicate in a better way. Any other queries? Thank you, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
How do you handle nervousness or stress right
Nervousness. Nervousness comes normal. It's not the disease or something else. It's normal in people. We are all human beings, right? Everyone has the nervousness. So to overcome it, don't show it on a face. First, be confident. When you're confident, nervousness will shade off. It will go off actually. Though, if you're be confident, practice well. When the nervousness is going to come, when you do not have a proper practice, or you may imagine, oh, whether I may do a wrong, whether I may pronounce a word wrongly, whether I may communicate wrongly, people would have laugh at me. So these fears makes you to imagine, the imagination gives you the fear, and that fear becomes the nervousness there, isn't it? So obviously we'll have ஐயோ இவங்க என்ன சொல்லிடுவாங்க, what they would do. So this comes in your mind and automatically your nervousness comes there. So be confident in yourself, practice well, nervousness will shade off there. And I tell you, I was the even I was doing my first demo class in 2009. You won't remember, I was literally shivering. I was literally like, my hands were shivering, my eyes were red. I was like, Shiva, I can't face the public, I can't see the principals, I cannot see the teachers. But later on, practice makes me and stand here. It took me to the way. So only you practice well, you have a confidence, make your content strong, be confident in what you're doing. If you're strong with your thing, if you're strong with your message, nervousness will shade off. Automatically smile enters your face. That is clear. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Any other queries?
Ma'am, how do you evaluate and improve your public speaking
Pardon, ma'am, please repeat that. I'm not clear.
Ma'am, how did you evaluate and improve your public speaking skills, ma'am?
That's what I explained far. Is it not? Your public speaking skill is within you. Develop your communication skill, develop your language. When you're going to attend an audience, be strong with the be strong with your message, or be strong with your preparation. uh, think in your mind, practice well, think in your mind what you're going to say, what are the points you are going to say, make it short. Remember that in mind, you're going to address the people who does not know about it, and you're going to take the information and you're going to send it to the audience. you're going to send it to the listeners. So the message you are taking should be effective and in a good manner. Okay, so you have to practice, you have to prepare well, and you have to get into the public speaking. Clear?
Thank you.
Any other queries? Any other queries? Yes. Sorry, pa, I'm not audible. Ma'am, please tell me.
Yes. Ma'am, my question is, what are
Yeah.
qualities improved to
You're breaking up your voice. I cannot hear it clearly.
hello, ma'am?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
My question is, what are qualities to be improved to become a good public speaker?
Qualities. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Qualities is you should be strong in your communication. You should be strong in your language. Doesn't matter you're taking your mother tongue or the other language. Be strong in your language. Be strong in your usage of words. The words you are using, the sentence you are putting, it should be grammatically correct. It should be in a good standard manner. So your language, your usage of words, your writings, your message, your content, everything should be in a good manner so that you can be a good speaker. Clear? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, I ask another question, ma'am.
Sure, ma, yes.
How can I improve my pronunciation skill, ma'am?
Yeah, I was, uh, I expected this question. Thank you for that. Pronunciation is listen to the good speaker's speech. Pronounce yourself. Be strong in phonetic sounds. Do practice it. What in our school days, what they have taught: A for apple, B for ball. So not that. Be strong in phonetics. A, E, P, B, T, D, G. So be strong in phonetics. If you are strong in phonetics, your pronunciation will improve. Phonetics plays a great role in pronunciation. Okay, know about the phonetics, practice well, do practice, and listen to the good speakers who gives a good standard speech. Listen to them often, how they're using the pronunciation. Excuse me. It pays a way to improve your pronunciation. Write and practice. Speak and practice. Speak aloud and practice. You would definitely gain a good pronunciation. Right? Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, ma.
Why does public speaking causes anxiety?
What? Sorry?
Why does public speaking causes anxiety, ma'am?
Because your anxiety, because it is a new thing. It's not the new thing. Everybody would have done that. But you're going to do a special thing. You're going to talk about a particular thing. Everybody will speak everything, right? But they're going to talk on a particular topic. They're going to explain it on whole. So that gives you anxiety. So அதுல என்ன இருக்கு, அதுல என்னென்னலாம் வரும் அப்படின்றது, kindle your it'll kindle your eagerness. That comes your anxiety. Okay, if you are clear with what you have done or what you're going to listen, then this gives you a what to say, Um, I can give you an example. When a known thing is taught to you, you will not get a eagerness. What is known to you? You will get an anxiety only when the unknown things is given to you. Is it not? So only the unknown thing. We listen to unknown things, and that unknown things leads to many branches. It will give us anxiety. It will give us eagerness. It will give us interest. Everything. So when unknown thing is given to us, anxiety arises. So please do listen to that, know about it, and your anxiety will be demolished. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I too have one question, ma'am.
Yes, pa. Yes, pa. Please.
How do I prepare for a public speaking event, ma'am?
Even as I said, that's what I was explaining. Okay. Where I was given. I'm going to give a topic to you. Okay. I'm going to give a topic on how we are going to build up your career. What is your idea? So what did you do to address the public speaking? You're going to stand beside me, and I'm going to stand near to you, and you're going to address the people there. So what are the things you will prepare there? The topic is given to you prior 1 week. So what will you prepare there? First, you will decide your career, isn't it? First, you will decide what is the career. Then, in attaining my career, what are the degrees I have to do? What are the studies I have to do? What do I complete? What should all I complete? So you will do that. You will read. You will get the informations. Okay. Then you will design it. Okay, இது முடிச்ச பிறகு இதை முடிக்கணும், இது முடிச்சா நான் இதை போவேன். So you will have a path. You will pay a path for yourself to attain it. Next, for everything you need a good communication. So you will learn on your communication skill. Good standard. நான் இதை கொண்டு போய் சேர்க்கறதுக்கு I will work on my words. I should use a standard. I would use a babatic languages here so that I can attract the audiences. So you will get into use the communication skill there. So when you design it, you will have a confidence in you. You will think in a different manner. How do I attract my audience to make them listen to my speech, to have a good career? So it may also helps in audience to design their career. So you're going to pay a way for thousands, isn't it? So it gives you a responsibility. So these will improve your public speaking. If you do all this, public speaking naturally enters you. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Thank
you.
you. Any other queries?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. I hope everybody would have enjoyed it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pa.
Now, thank you so much for your valuable session. We learned a lot from you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, I request Miss S. Bhakya Anusha to propose the word of gratitude. Well,
On behalf of Department of English from Sri Chandraprabhu Jain College, Management, Principal, Dr. N. Sujata Ma'am, all the head of the department, faculty members and the students, I would like to thank everyone for their patience. And also I thank all the viewers. I sincere thanks to the resource person, Mrs.S. Ramya, soft skill trainer, Buddha Academic Solution. Thank you so much, ma'am. You have spent your valuable time with us. Finally, I would like to thank our PRO, Mr. Balaji sir, for their technical support. Once again, thank you everyone.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma.